creepy movies that I love that were from Australia. Like one of
Mm-hmm.
them, one
The
of my,
Coca-Cola Kid.
yeah, the Coca-Cola Kid. You know, of course, with then Tim Finn from,
Oh yeah.
yeah, Tim Finn on it playing Philip, and
Or the crocodile hunter guy.
yeah, Crocodile Hunter guy.
Guy.
But
This is
I,
Steve Irwin.
yes,
Steve
Right.
oh
Irwin.
yeah,
Right.
Steve Irwin,
Hmm.
not like the, not,
Because he
okay,
married an
yeah,
American lady, or I don't know if she was American or Canadian.
T's
Don't
got
want to offend
his
anyone.
T's got his Funko
I've
Pop
got
down in
his
her
Funko
office.
Pop in my office. Steve
Oh my
Irwin,
God.
yeah, I loved
That's,
him. Crikey,
I know, it's so sad, but you know what? His family have kept on the legacy.
Yes,
yes,
they
Um,
have, and then some.
yes.
yeah, what a big legacy.
And I still say crikey, you know,
Crikey.
right?
I felt
Crikey.
like the crocodile hunter once because where I live we get wallabies, and we don't have like kangaroos really where I live, but we've got wallabies, koalas, and you don't see them that often, but you see a lot of lizards.
I loved
Um
Australia's wildlife and the
yeah,
lizards.
I've
Yeah.
had to wrestle a few lizards, and so I felt like the crocodile hunter because
Yeah.
I mean, their
Those
teeth aren't the same, but they're still big and they're scaly and kind of scary. So I
go.
had some oven mitts, I had a box, I had a towel. I was like, the dogs were trying to eat it, and I'm like, well, this is going to work. I thought it was this huge snake. I was so scared at first, had to call like a wildlife contact line. I thought they would come and remove it. And they said, is it hurt? And I said, not yet, but like I'm trying to keep it away from my dogs because the dogs chased it into the house. I just hear this chaos. Like, so I'm trying to save this poor thing, and it's nearly had a heart attack. And I've nearly had a heart attack because its
my.
tails hit me in the arm, and I'm
Oh.
screamed bloody murder. The dogs are barking. I've got it in the box. Somehow close the box. Then I'm like, what do I do now? So I didn't know what to do. So I basically just walked. And luckily, where I live, I'm very lucky about this. I live right near a national park. An Arakwal, they're like at the National Indigenous um, area. And
Right.
so I walked down the back with the box, let the little guy out. I think he was a water dragon, eastern
Aw.
water dragon. And he just, I thought he was going to turn around like, you know, in the movies and be like, thank you for saving my life. But he was like, get the fuck out of here. No, thank you. Nothing. But he ran faster than I've ever seen a lizard run before.
Aw.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not as crazy as what people think, but if you get the more north you go, the more likely you're going to see crocs.
By Cairns.
Well, not that, you don't have to go that far. Airlie Beach, which is also a really, if you ever do come back to Australia, Airlie Beach, I find Airlie Beach okay, but we'll stay in Proserpine, which is more of a local area. And yeah, they had crocs. Went crabbing. I don't normally go fishing and stuff, but you know, boyfriends, they like that kind of stuff. So I'm
Right.
like, well, you know, being a good girlfriend, I'm going to be involved. And it was a speedboat, and I do like speedboats. So it wasn't that fast. It's more like a tinny, actually. We call it a tinny because it looks like a tin can with a
Okay.
motor
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
back. Anyway, so we're in the back of that thing, and there's crocs everywhere, dude, like all around us. Don't ever put your hands in the water, that's for sure.
No.
And then we caught like 5 crabs, mud crab. I don't really like the taste of mud crab,
I
but
don't
like,
either.
yeah, but I mean, it was a really, really cool experience actually, just because I'd never seen it before. Like, even being from Australia, I'd never been that close to crocs in my life before, besides maybe being at a zoo, but not in their wild kind of habitat. The fact that he was brave enough to get out of that boat at all is beyond me. Like, I'd be, yeah, no. But
Yeah, I'd be right there with you.
There was
yeah,
In the boat.
yeah, in the boat, staying in the boat.
so like there was this island I went to like near Cairns,
Yeah.
and there was crocodiles all over, and then like tropical birds like cockatiels and things like that.
Oh, cute.
And we stopped there for tea. because we were on this big catamaran that like you take out to the outer barrier reef.
Yeah.
And I swear that was the time we stopped at the island. Like we were like everywhere, all up the coast from Sydney to Cairns, and then oh gosh, out in the middle, Coranda. Maybe was it be like I'm trying to remember because like
Have you got
mm,
Cape Tribulation? Did you go there? Because that's like next to Cairns. I think it's like more north of Cairns.
um is so like where so I'm trying to remember where all we went. Like I know we went to Townsville, but I mean like
Yeah.
and like and then there was like a little Magnetic Island. We stayed overnight on Magnetic Island, and
Oh, nice.
I was camping out there. I mean, we had these little cabins, but I was like, I have to be outside. It's like beautiful. It's amazing. And like
Yeah.
the foam, the sea foam, like blowing on the beach and everything. And I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and I didn't have a flashlight. And I walked right bam into the back of a Bromby. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I looked at it him, it, her, I don't know what it was. It was dark and they looked at me and I was like, I'm gonna just back up now. I gotta pee. And it just kind of like just just ignored me. But
There's a lot of like up that way, especially there's so much wildlife. Dingoes, like going camping and then seeing dingoes for me is rare. Like I don't
Dingo
like
ate my
it's not.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, truthfully, they'll eat anything, like
right.
pretty much.
Yeah, they're rough.
Like when you're camping, you can't let them in your tent. If you've got food in
No.
your tent,
I would
there you go for all the food. They
yeah.
just come for the food.
Like
And I was just unlucky that that in that particular situation the dingo took the baby, but they just probably saw it as food,
Mhm.
I'd say. But
it's
like, yeah.
it's like in the States when you go camping and with the bears, you
Yeah.
can't put food in in your tent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're about what 10, 12 times bigger than
A dingo.
a dingo.
Yeah, I had a blue heeler, so and they're part dingo. They're
Yeah, they're cute.
dingo, kelpie, Dalmatian, and for a short time, someone bred in like, oh gosh, yeah, I love blue heelers, but they have a lot of energy.
Yeah, they've got so much energy, those things.
Yeah, but are they? Yeah, so they have like all
Because they're
sorts.
sort of farm dogs. We use them for rounding sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're kind of like what cattle dogs in a way. Like there's certain like there's farm dogs and then there's like domesticated dogs, but people can have a domesticated dog, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, obviously there's dingo in them. Whereas my sister and I, we have Pomeranians, and they're actually from the German Spitz family, which is a type of wolf.
Mm-hmm.
But they were more known for being royal dogs. So I started getting really obsessed with Pomeranians, going off the music subject, but I got obsessed with finding out more about how like they came to,
I
be
love Pomeranians.
tiny lap dogs.
Yeah, I love Pomeranians.
And yeah, they're great dogs. They just really like my one particularly loves to bark. He can sing, but he's a bit tone deaf, but he loves to sing.
Dewey loves to sing too. Dewey Lewis.
Yeah. They try.
Our little co-pilot here, who's always with us when we do the show, Dewey, is here in his little basket.
Oh,
check this out. Check this out.
Uh-oh,
so
wait.
Day-o, day-o, da 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 da. That work all night for day-o.
That's so
Okay,
cute.
hold on. I'm gonna turn on his mic. Day-o, day-o, rah rah rah.
Aw, it's so cute.
Okay.
My sister sings Chandelier by Sia to my dog, and he starts singing.
Aww.
Yeah, but like it's more like high pitched than your dog. He's like, oh, I want to fly.
Well, usually he's more into it, but tonight he's been sleeping a little bit. So
Day-o,
I should say tonight for us. It's afternoon for you.
Da, la, 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 la. He's singing. La,
Is he?
la, la, la. Okay, he's going to sing. La, la, la. Ra, ra, ra.
Daylight coming and you want to go home.
day.
He will sing along with it
It's
very
a
loudly.
day.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
da la 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 la
Oh,
day day. Okay.
is a day,
Day.
is a day, is a day.
La la
Till I
la.
come any
Daddy
money
lose.
go home.
Day. See, you have
Um,
to cover that.
Next time I speak to you, you'll be like, well, the dog got signed to RCA Records. And I'll be like, what the? That was me howling.
Well, he does have some standing though. There were the singing dogs back in the
There were the singing
1970s.
days. But
They
if
only
you
got one real hit, but sometimes that's all it takes.
if you decide to cover it though, Snow, like he will sing backup for
if
you.
you decide to cover the singing dogs, you know what
No,
you just
The
said?
singing
no,
dog.
not the singing dogs.
What do you
Dale,
mean?
banana. But
Oh, the banana boat song. Okay, that
like
makes
if she
more
de-
sense.
If she decides to cover that, I said Dewey will be your backup singing, right? Dewey, do you agree?
It'll be right at home in a banana boat song, I'm sure.
Right,
They had a
yeah.
dog in mind the whole
Banana
time.
boat. It's 30 plus. Banana boat. It lasts for hours and hours and hours. Banana boat. Banana boat. I love jingles. You know that we don't get jingles anymore. I don't think. I remember that was something I was trying to do was for a while was become a jingle person. That was weird.
Could you write a jingle for our show?
Yeah. Well, I
We'll
mean, definitely
open
could
it.
attempt to.
We will open with it every time.
Sorry.
We'll open with the jingle every time.
We
Yeah.
could do that.
Oh,
We
like for the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
ouch.
could.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I couldn't. I just went to move and the keyboard was out and I just.
And my back was turned and I thought someone broke in.
Yeah, no, I jabbed myself with the keyboard.
Oh no. Yeah, so how long are you on air for? Are you right now, are you live to air or are you recording?
We're recording now,
Yep.
but occasionally
We're live. We're live 1 to 3 p.m. on Wednesdays each week.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 1 to 3 p.m. we're live.
I wish there was a way, like, because you know how we get reminders. It's just like it's always hard when people are on the other side of the world because you're still trying to figure out the time. I'm like I always get bad with that stuff, but I think you can just Google time in wherever that person is, and then it'll just come up on Google.
We
Usually,
figured this out last night, and you're 14 hours ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make for easy
Exactly.
math.
What city are you in right now?
We're in Viroqua,
Viroqua, Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yes, Viroqua,
Wisconsin.
Yes, there's lots of
So
cows.
Wisconsin is the state, yeah?
Correct.
Yes, and Viroqua is the town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because obviously, like, there's smaller towns and bigger towns. Like here, like we've got Byron technically is supposed to be a small town, but it feels like a city sometimes.
Viroqua's got just about 5,000 people at last check.
Okay.
And the radio station serves miles beyond that. We reach at least an hour away.
Okay.
There was a screen printing artist that I got a shirt from in Byron
But
Bay.
you might make a plan to do one thing and then something else happens and you're like,
Yes.
oh my God, totally
Yes.
unexpected.
Yes,
Yes.
I've experienced a lot of that lately.
Yes.
We both
Yeah.
have, actually.
Yeah, that's actually, I was planning on moving here right before I met Michael. And
AKA
literally,
Mr. Announcer Man.
Mr. Announcer Man, right? Mr. Announcer Man. And then literally my plans fell through at the last minute, like literally the day before I met him. And then I was living in Chicago, and within 3 months, I was living in Florida. Like we shacked up. And then we got married a year later. And then a few years after that, we were going to move to Chicago. We got really deathly ill from mold. And
Oh my God.
And
yeah, so we left everything and started over. And we were going to go to Chicago. And then like last minute, it was like Viroqua opened their arms and
yeah,
like
we thought we had a place. We called them back to verify and to make sure we got all the paperwork filled out. And they said, no, you have to make this much to be here. And they were very standoffish and seemed to have more requirements than when we talked to the last rental agent. I was like, well, what happened to the other person? Let's talk to them instead.
Right? Can we talk to the other lady who said she had
she
a
was
place
nicer.
for us? Yeah, she was nicer.
And so Tammy said, "Well, where else can we go?" And I was like, "I don't know. I know I don't want to go back to where I was from in Central New York State.
And
I
so,
have there's nothing there for me. There's nothing there for you."
and the next day I was like, Viroqua.
And I
And,
said, "It's a good a choice as any. Why not?"
right? Yeah.
I didn't even know what I was looking at. Never seen it. Never saw it before. Never heard about it. Other than she said, I tried to get a job with this company there, and it didn't work out.
And
That's all I
so
knew.
the next thing we knew, we were packing up what we had left of our things after
It was a
trashing.
mad grab, not packing so much.
It was a mad grab, like literally, because I went to the ER in constant anaphylaxis. They didn't know what to do with me. They put me in a glass box.
In like a waiting room.
Yeah, but it was all glass.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I called my doctor, and she picked us up, and we went and lived with her.
She luckily had a second floor, like a in-law apartment.
Yeah, so we stayed with my doctor, and
Wow.
and then we went one day to throw everything outside.
That was a month, wasn't it? We were there.
We were there for a few weeks while we figured out what we were gonna do.
Yeah,
next.
it was almost a month.
Yeah,
And then in another month, we were on the road.
yeah, and a big old
Wow.
truck.
That would have been very scary to go through.
Oh yeah, it got scarier too.
Yeah, I was in a constant state of anaphylaxis.
And then the car we were towing on the trailer in back of the truck
Yeah.
to bring the car up, because obviously we couldn't. I mean, I can't drive, so she was the only driver. So we were towing the car on a trailer, and about a fourth of the way to our destination, apparently the hitch broke.
Yeah, we almost lost the car.
And it was only being held on by one row of weld,
Yeah.
I guess. And we were getting honked at by truckers madly. I was like, what are we supposed to do? We're in a construction zone. We can't just,
Yeah.
We didn't even know it was happening.
Wow.
Because it was fine the last time we looked at it.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
we were lucky to make it to our destination with the car still attached.
yes,
It could have just flown off the back and tumbled onto the side of the road.
right, but luckily it
That's
didn't.
happened to us though with like not a car luckily, but this still could have been just in two cars where things have flown off. One of them was like a long surfboard.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
boards hit
Oh.
the car behind us on a highway.
Ouch.
And then no one got hurt. The board got ridden off though. And
Yeah.
then like it was very close to smashing the windscreen. I don't know how it didn't. I was like a fish. I think it was a fish board and a longboard. And then the other time it was like my friend had shelves like he just picked up from like like you buy from someone's, they're like getting rid of their furniture. So we
Sure.
drove for like an hour from New South Wales to Queensland and back. He just said we're going on a road trip. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. I'm getting Macca's though because there's no Macca's in Byron. And I'm like, you owe me a cheeseburger Happy Meal. And then he's like, fine. So like, because I came with him, I made him get me a Happy Meal. And that Happy Meal saved someone's life possibly, because when we got to the McDonald's, we decided to park. We didn't go through the drive-through because we had a trailer on the back.
Right.
And we noticed one of the shelves was gone.
Oh,
And strap was like loose, which means had we gotten onto the highway, had we not stopped for McDonald's, all of the shelves would have flown off.
oh
And we
my
might have
gosh.
ended up on the news and someone could have died. And
Yeah.
it was like, yeah. But I'm like, so aren't you just happy you bought me a Happy Meal today, aren't you? It's like, to this day, we still don't know what happened to it, like to the other shelf. But yeah, it was like retro too. It was like really old
Aw.
furniture that if you had refurbished could have been worth a bit of money. It had
Right.
it was really pretty. But anyway, just massive. And so it's scary when things like that happen. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Like, especially because imagine being like even the car behind, seeing something flying towards you. I can't
Right?
even imagine.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
do you even do?
We just try and avoid it as much as possible, I guess.
Yeah, I had a funny surfboard story though. I lived on the in Atlantic Beach for a while in college, and one summer a bunch of us crazy kids rented this house like on the beach, and people would keep their surfboards downstairs and then like just go surfing during the day, and then just everyone would just crash upstairs, and there were a few bands living out of there. And when you were talking earlier about, I experienced that very much. It's one of the reasons why I didn't stay in bands, because the drummer and then the bass player, like it's
Hmm.
just like no one leaves you alone. And someone actually dosed my drink one time when I went for an audition. So it's just
Oh my
very
God.
scary. Yeah. Very
That's
scary
crazy.
things. Mm-hmm. So, but back to the surfboard. So, so one of my friends said, Tammy, you can have my surfboard. It just needs a little bit of work at the top. And so there was like two surfboards downstairs. So one of my friends was like, well, Tammy, do you want me to fix the surfboard for you? And I was like, sure. He took the one that he thought was mine. And and then one day, like the next day, this guy's like, what happened to my surfboard? What happened to my surfboard? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, come back tomorrow, like, just come back tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so I was like, so Charlie, like, do you have that surfboard? He's like, no, but I'll give you some pot for it. So I was like, okay. So,
I love how that's become a currency.
right.
Weed is a currency now. Actually, speaking of weed, I still like see it as a very positive, creative tool for me, if in moderation. Um, and it's very, like, I don't know, it's just becoming legal now in Australia. So you have to like go to a prescription place,
Hmm.
Yeah.
like, or get a prescription, which is what you used to do with the dispensaries, but
Right.
now it's changed for California. I know that at least. But so here you can't get it. Like, well, you can get it delivered, but once again, you still have to pay for a consultation,
Hmm.
and you still have to be approved. But it's just still at that level of where you're allowed to have it, but you're not allowed to drive on it. You're not allowed to have it in venues. You're not allowed, like,
Hmm. Hmm.
Right.
smoke. Even vapes, like vaping, we have to do outdoors. So they consider a vape the same as a cigarette.
Hmm.
So whereas I think in America or California, you can vape indoors, I think, from my memory.
Well,
Um,
California, yeah, but if you are found, you have to have your 215 in California. Or at least that's how it was when
yeah.
I lived in California, because
Oh, okay.
I lived up in Humboldt, so everybody was
Yeah.
growing it in Humboldt.
Yeah, they're kind of leaving it up to the states as to how each state wants to handle it here. So some states have pretty much completely legalized it. Others um, want to know that you have it prescribed. Others want you to just buy it at a particular place, and not everybody can sell it.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you go. Here in Wisconsin, there's only a couple kinds, like the Delta 8 and Delta 9, that are somehow outside how they define the laws.
And also some kind of like magic shroomage that's like in
Oh,
little things.
yeah.
What are
It's
those?
missing something, so they can call it something else, I think, is what it is.
Yeah. So
I don't know how it works.
we have that
They
available.
find their little they find the little loopholes.
Loopholes. It's a loophole jungle.
It's black and white at the moment, and I think it works. It might just need just like a little bit of fine tuning. It's kind of like, it looks like a James Dean, a female
Cool.
James Dean. Like, I don't know. It is like hastily put together. It's not. We didn't spend very long doing it, but that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't want something look posed.
Hmm.
So I wasn't posing, like, he was just, I was moving around. He was taking photos while I was just like doing different things.
I love
But
that technique.
I just
Yeah.
thought, yeah, I just liked the bike. Like, I thought that was cool, but then I realized it's going to be interesting because once I release this to the media, if I do have any other interviews in Australia, which will probably eventually happen, obviously I do have other stations who like my music and stuff, which is really cool. Um, but they're probably going to ask about the motorbike. Here's the motorbike's not actually mine. It's my mate. He just bought it um recently. He's like an avid motorcyclist, like
Sure.
loves, and he just bought it. It's sort of his new toy, and I was like, oh, that looked cool. If we were just looking in the backyard, like, where could we do photos? We were just having a catch up, and then I said, can I use the bike? And he's like, yeah, sure. So we used the bike, and then we came up with one good photo. So I'm really happy with that. I'm just trying to get everything together today. um I've got my day off because I usually work over the weekends in the bar. So since I've been I've got this week fairly free. I'm going to use that time to sort of just get everything put together, and then he takes it from there and then gives it to all the stations in Australia, basically. I hate the one thing I hate doing the most is doing my own press release. It's just weird talking about yourself like
Right.
that, you know.
Yeah, like you're another person.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because I'm usually a really good writer. If it was for something different, I love writing. But when it's about myself, it just feels like I'm writing a biography,
Right.
which it sort of does turn into a biography. But a press release is more of like snippets, you know. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to rewrite my bio and then cut it up and then kind of make it into a sort of a blurb.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just a few little things I need to do today, which is exciting.
Yay.
At least we got a photo. The only thing you might want to know about my song Snitch is that is explicit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play that one.
Yeah,
That one I can't play on the radio unless I
yeah,
beep out like everything.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you have learned to beep yet.
There's a new song. It's called Beep.
Beep 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 beep.
There's another one.
Maybe that's how electronic music started. Beep 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 beep.
Yeah, exactly.
Beep 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 beep.
There's a comedy bit we've been wanting to play like nobody's business, but it's it all revolves around what if the comedian who's singing it copyrighted the word fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But she does funny. A beeped version of it that she uses a kazoo that's suspended in front of her while she's playing her guitar, and it sounds ridiculous, and it doesn't go over half as well as when she's saying the word itself.
It's funny hearing you say that word bunches.
I know.
That's hilarious.
We used to have a friend in Florida who she was the person who cut my hair for the company that I worked for. They had a person that cut hair for the employees, and she used to think it was absolutely hilarious to hear us say swear words because we seem very, calm and
innocent. And
right.
Little does she know I had a sailor mouth at one time. So. My mom laughs when I swear.